Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and check it out. I have the new VersaFine Clair inks by Sukaneko and I'm really excited to finally have these in hand. I get my inks from Imagine Crafts, which is a US retailer of Sukaneko, and they're actually really close by to me because they're in Washington State as well. And I'm really excited because I was on the Imagine Crafts design team last year when we were asked to actually test out the ink pads while they were still in the research and development phase. So it was really exciting to have a chance to actually play with these in advance. And it's been really exciting to watch the release of it and to see the popularity of them. And now to finally have them is a real treat. So I hope you'll pop on over to the Imagine Crafts website and order these. I don't know what their stock situation is, but I know that they sell pretty much the full line of Sukaneko inks. And one of the questions that gets asked a lot is, how are these different from your VersaFine inks, like the ever popular VersaFine Onyx Black? And while they are similar, nearly identical, they are a little bit different. And exactly how they're different is kind of, I guess, trade secret because it is a special formulation. And one thing that I'll mention is that the VersaFine inks are a pigment ink that are really, I mean, they come in a variety of different colors. I have a lot of their mini ink cubes as well, so you can find them in different colors. As you can see here, some different browns, some different greens, and a couple of blues. Now, as a pigment-based ink, these are based off of minerals and other things that can be found in nature. And as a result, typically pigment-based inks have a very limited color range because of that. Because dye-based inks can be fabricated. They have man-made properties in them that allow ink manufacturers to bring you a variety of, very bright, very full spectrum colors. However, that's not really the same as with pigment-based inks that are strictly pigment-based. And so here you can kind of see the color variation. It's there isn't a huge range, and probably the two most popular are your Onyx Black, which is my go-to for stamping out sentiments, and Vintage Sepia, which is another really gorgeous color, kind of a nice brown, like a very earthy brown. And then the rest of the colors are fairly earthy. Maybe this red one here, the satin red, might be the brightest among them. So that's your VersaFine inks. Now, VersaFine Clair takes the VersaFine inks as a base in terms of the formula for the actual inks, and modifies it ever so slightly so that a broader range of colors can be offered. And so what I'm going to do in this video is I am going to swatch out very just ink pad to paper. I'm going to very quickly swatch out these new colors, but I also have all the existing colors right next to me as well. I believe I have them all. I have most, if not all. And that way you'll get to see the new colors and then maybe how they fit in with the existing colors that have already been out on the market for a while now. So let's start with some of these lovely greens. So we've got Spruce here, which is a very lovely dark green, it looks. So I'm just going to give, oh, look at that. This is a very juicy ink pad. Really, really great. So that's spruce. This is grass green. Oh, that's really lovely. Look at that. You can see how nice and bright that is. And then we have a third green. This one's avocado. Oh, that's going to be really nice. So look at that. Beautiful. Next, we've got this. Well, let's swatch that with the pink. So I'll swatch Portobello. Oh, this is really nice. So this will fit in with our brown family. That's a really nice brown. And then we have Sand Dune. It's funny because I think, are both of these Spellbinders cardstock colors? I know Portobello is a Spellbinders cardstock color. Okay, so then we have those. Maybe I'll swatch some of those purples together. Okay, let's do, yeah, this is, I guess, a periwinkle, which is sort of a purple blue. Yeah, let's do those three together. So very, very peri. Oh, that's lovely. I did swipe that one twice. Got very peri. We have Arctic. Kind of a powder blue here. Oh, that's really nice. That's brighter than what I would have thought, given... This is why it's nice to swatch, so that we can actually see how it looks on the page. This one is Bali Blue. Oh, that's beautiful. I like that. That's got a very ocean vibe to it. Okay, next we have Lilac Bloom. Oh, I didn't remove this, so let me quickly get this one open. I love this new range. So you can see how bright some of these are, which, and I'll swatch out, maybe I'll also swatch out the original VersaFine colors as well, just so that we can see. Lovely. That's a really nice purple. Lilac Bloom was that one. This is Hawthorn Rose. Ooh, this looks like it's going to be a bit of a dusty rose. Oh, that's pretty. Not quite a dusty rose, but lovely all the same. Okay, so now we've got a couple more pinks and reds. So this one's Strawberry. Oh, that's lovely. That's a nice bright red. And finally, we have Baby Pink. All right. Oh, that's really pretty. Yeah, I love, so generally with a pigment-based ink, it would take a little bit of time to dry, but usually the VersaFine inks do dry pretty quickly, even though as a pigment ink, generally it sits on top of your paper, but these first ones have already dried. I'm not smudging or smearing. So that's really, really nice. Typically, you would probably think of turning to maybe your dye-based inks when you're doing some like layered stenciling or layered stamping, but I feel like a lot of these colors you could maybe use for your layering techniques, your layered stamping or your layered stenciling, and they would work pretty well because they would dry fairly quickly. Like I just stamped that one out and it's not smudging at all. So those are the new colors. Now let's take a look at the existing colors and we'll see kind of how it fits into the palette. So we've got Fallen Leaves, Acorn, Morning Mist, Nocturne. I'm going to try to quickly maybe group these into color families. So we got Pine Cone here. So we have some browns. There are quite a few greens. I've got Shady Lane, Rainforest, Verdant, and Green Oasis. So we'll swipe that out there. And then a lot of blues and purples. So this is Medieval Blue, Twilight. Twilight is one of my favorites. I really love Twilight. Monarch, Warm Breeze, Paradise, and Blue Bell. So got quite a lot of blues here. We've got some purples, Fantasia, Monarch, Purple Delight. We've got some pinks, Glamorous, Chianti, which is sort of a wine red, Charming Pink, Tulip Red, and then we've got some yellows. So Summertime well, that's an orange, Golden Meadow, and Cheerful. Okay, so let's quickly swipe through the existing colors just so that you can kind of see how they line up in and where these kind of might fit in. Let's start with our greens since we've got our green family here. So this is Shady Lane. Remember, these are the existing. So that feels like a darker version of the avocado, which is really nice. Rain Forest. Ooh, that looks like it's a darker version of, now I've forgotten the name of the color, but you can kind of see these new colors are sort of filling in some gaps here, which is kind of nice. This is Green Oasis. Lovely. Again, I'm seeing a trend of these being a little bit lighter than the existing. Like those three right there feel like really good matches. And then this is Verdant. So how fabulous. Verdant is a little bit kind of like Peridot. It's got a very bright sort of lime green to it. I feel like these three are really good matches with these three where they're slightly darker than those. So if you're doing some layered stamping, you know, you've got some good pairings there. Okay, so those were the greens. Now let's look at the browns. So we have Pinecone. Very, very dark brown. I've got Fallen Leaves. This feels more like a gray brown. Oh, that's actually technically darker than that even. So I feel like this is probably a good pairing with the new one. And then here we have Acorn, which has some more reddish undertones to it. Quite a lot of blues, so let's go through our the existing line of blues. We have Medieval Blue, gorgeous. We've got Twilight. I think Twilight's darker than that. Look at that, so pretty. It's if you water this out, it's actually got some really it's like a very, very dark teal. I mean, you can kind of see at the edges where it's feathered. It's got some really lovely teal undertones to it. Blue Bell. There's that. Like this one here does have some purple undertones, so I feel like it's a very dark version of that right there. And that was Blue Bell. Next we have Paradise. I feel like Paradise might be... Yep, look at that. That looks like really, really lovely. Maybe getting into a good match with that. Although this next one, Warm Breeze, might be a better match with the new blue one. So let's find out. Yeah, this is much more teal. And I feel like this is a darker version of the new color that just came out. So if you want to look at that and that. So if you look at just that tail end, that's looking like it's very similar to that color right there. But you can kind of see how there were a lot of dark colors, and now we've got some more mid-range and lighter colors in the blues. So really good extension of the existing palette. Then let's move into the purples. So again, these are the existing purples. This is Monarch. Gorgeous. It's a very plummy purple. This one is Fantasia, so this is going to be more, I think, more bluish. Gorgeous. This I feel like might be like a darker version of that, possibly. And this does look like a nice dark version of that. Purple Delight. Gorgeous. Yeah, you could take this as a darker version of that. Wow, well done, Tsukaneko. You does not disappoint. Okay, so here are our reds. We have Chianti, reds and pinks. So there's that really like a very rich wine color. This one's Tulip Red. Beautiful. Then we're getting into some of our pinks. Glamorous. Beautiful. And Charming Pink. Look at that. So those are our existing reds and pinks. And here's a look at, I mean, I feel like Strawberry is kind of, it's pretty close. It's sort of in between these two colors. So if anything, I feel like Strawberry might not be really extending the existing palette as much as it could. Maybe having something in between these two might have been a little bit of a better fit, but I do like this as kind of bringing us lighter. So you can kind of see a lot of these are taking us to the lighter end of the existing spectrum, which I think is really cool. Then we've got some colors that the new inks don't really extend on, but for completeness, I should go ahead and swipe them. So this is Cheerful. So let's just do our yellows down here. Then we have Golden Meadow. That's an interesting color. It kind of has some greens in it as well. And then Summertime. That's a really, it's coming across a little bit hot on my monitor, but it's a very, very lovely orange, that last color there. And then some of our basics, of course, there is a black. So we have VersaFine Clair in Nocturne. I still prefer Onyx Black. So I'll go ahead and swatch down here. So that's the black. And this is the Morning Mist. So we got a couple of our basic colors there. Okay, so that is the full swatch. So here are the I think they might be the full set of VersaFine Clairs, but these are all of the ones I have in any case. And then we've got our new ones off to that side there. So those are, that's a look at the VersaFine Clairs. And again, just maybe for completeness, let me also swatch out. Let's also swatch out the VersaFines, just so that you can maybe see. Probably the easiest thing to do is I'll just swatch it on this little card base that I have here. So here's my Onyx Black, which needs a little bit of re-inking. I've had this for maybe 4 or 5 years now. So that's Onyx Black. This one is Vintage Sepia. And for I know for some, I don't know if it's the case for all, but you can get re-inkers. So that's the vintage. And then let's do the small little squares. So we have smoky gray, which is very, very dark for a gray. We've got our, let's see, we've got Olympia green. Funny that it's Olympia because that's our state capital. So there's Olympia green. And this is Spanish moss. So those are the two greens. And now again, these are VersaFine. This is majestic blue. This is deep lagoon. Ooh, that's pretty. Then we have our satin red. Really, really lovely. And crimson red. Okay, so there you have the VersaFine inks, which again, not 100% identical to VersaFine Clair. That's why they're named differently, to be honest, because while the Clair inks are based off of the original VersaFine formulation, they are slightly different, but you can kind of see how these fit in. So I feel like this blue is really close to the existing one. This might be pretty close to that one, maybe a little bit lighter. In terms of the reds, this red is a good in between. And then this one is pretty darn close to the new one that has come out. And then for the greens, let's see, I feel like this might be the darkest of all the greens. I mean, it's kind of close to that, but it is darker. And then this Spanish moss comes pretty close to that one there. Maybe a little bit more yellow in it, but really lovely. So those are all of the VersaFine and VersaFine Clair inks that I have all swatched out. So I'll leave links to everything in the description box below if you want to check any of these out. And until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Thanks. Bye.